Hey everybody, David the AI Guide here. Welcome to another episode. So last time was tough, right? We talked about yet another occupation to be disrupted by AI and a white collar occupation, not a blue collar occupation. But as we all know, everything is plus and minus. The universe balances everything. This time we focus on a positive use of AI, and it's courtesy of NASA. From urban centers to rural communities, automated air taxis can grant passengers unprecedented access to the world around them. So let's start with the fact that in rural areas, many people do not have access to air travel. Right now, they have to drive 1 hour, 2 hours, even 3 hours way in the country to get to the nearest airport that serves passengers. This is not small private airports, it's commercial airports. Advanced air mobility or urban air mobility, same thing, transforms that. Before automation software can be used for flight, it must be developed and tested to ensure its accuracy and safety. NASA's advanced air mobility researchers at Armstrong Flight Research Center in Edwards, California, have been developing automation software as part of a collaboration with Sikorsky, the helicopter maker, and DARPA, the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, who, by the way, funds many new technologies. This research will ultimately test the software's responsiveness using 2 highly specialized helicopters as surrogate air taxis. So these AAM vehicles are going to be a whole new design. They're going to be eVTOL, electric vertical takeoff and landing vehicles, but they use the helicopters to test the software, while in parallel, they're already building and flight certifying these new vehicles. The software design begins with conceptualizing what AAM vehicle operations and flight behavior scenarios might look like. The simulation using tablets and ground control room displays helps to identify potential issues prior to actual flight testing. The team will evaluate how the software prototype allows pilots using the tablet to initiate specific autonomous flight rules that would be common for air taxis. We are far enough in development to already know that test aircrew are already comfortable with the software and the tablets. How added that the team is confident in the software capabilities. So this is typical NASA. Build software, test the you-know-what out of it until they know for sure it works. Why is NASA so great about this? Well, let's say you're sending a robotic explorer to Europa. There's no hope of recoding that once it's beyond Earth, way out in the solar system. You can do certain corrections that are minor, but you cannot really test coding at massive distance because the radio bandwidth is too low to do that. So NASA has become truly expert at software. And by the way, what does this tell us? This tells us that AAM is closer than most people think. We've proven that the software interacts well with the aircraft flight control systems and is very capable of safely executing multiple precise software-controlled profiles in a single flight, Howe said. Their tests will evaluate the NASA-designed automation software and flight control tablets in several AAM operations flight scenarios with the helicopters. With NASA test pilots and Sikorsky safety pilots on board each aircraft, the two will autonomously fly test scenarios to capture the data from precise flight scenarios as the pilots interact with the research tablets to select their desired avoidance maneuvers from a set of software-provided options. So let's translate that into common language. Scientists really put things too complexly. So what does this mean? It means a very experienced test pilot is going to be sitting there with a tablet. They're going to bring these two helicopters into a situation where they could collide with each other. And the test pilots are going to use the tablets to pick a software scenario that avoids the collision. That's what that says. This is pretty cool stuff. Future AAM operations may include flight in very dense traffic environments. Think New York City. These new routes must include safe and reliable separation from every other aircraft in the area. NASA is helping to create those capabilities by exploring safe procedures to pave the way for air taxi operations in the national airspace. So let's summarize all this. We've done a bunch of videos in this area. Manufacturers are now building these new aircraft, testing them and getting FAA certification for them. In the meantime, NASA is helping on two fronts. One is building the AI software, as we just learned, for autonomous flight operations. The other is NASA is helping build out with the FAA the national airspace routes for autonomous air taxis, which will be different than that of passenger planes. But we can see the future here. The future is clear. Fully autonomous AAM aircraft with safety pilots for a brief period of time, say a year or two, and then full autonomy. And then once that's in place, that will eventually roll out to commercial aircraft carrying hundreds of passengers. Why? Because they're going to test these aircraft with a safety pilot there with 4 to 6 passengers, right? Once they're sure of the safety of that, then they will go full autonomy with 4 to 6 passengers. And then later they'll scale up to full autonomy, partial autonomy with safety pilots for hundreds of passengers, and then finally full autonomy with hundreds of passengers, no pilots. So all this is coming, it's certain. So all this is coming soon. Please support this channel. Please like, subscribe, and share. We're gonna hit 900 this week. We need 1,000 for full monetization. Also, please click that link below. Get your free resource. Prepare yourself for this highly automated future that is almost here. I am here to guide you to AI-safe careers. What are those? Careers that require the human touch and are not able to be easily automated. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.